Hello everyone, thank you for taking time out of your day to attend today's webinar. Today we'll be looking at a product made by CTC Software. It's called HIVE. We'll be looking at how we can use it for visualization. I'm Josh Radle. I'm one of the technical specialists here up here in Minnesota. Topics we're going to cover today, we're going to look at how to assign users to HIVE, to different libraries, how to remove a couple of them, assign different permissions and what those different permissions mean. We'll look at how to create libraries and add content to those libraries, and how we can, then we'll look how we can use that content inside of Revit, and the two different ways to launch HIVE. Then at the end, we'll look at how HIVE can be used to drag and drop from HIVE directly into a couple other different programs for visualization. So, all right, let's hop right in. So there's two ways to launch HIVE. You can launch it as a desktop application, or you can launch it straight from Revit. So if you launch it from Revit, once you install it, the plugin, it'll sit on top of your ribbon up here under CTC HIVE Suite, or you can launch it as a desktop version. We'll get into the two in a second. So when you start it up, notice we have, since we keep updating our libraries, we have all these different libraries. So the first thing we're going to do is add some users to it. So I'm going to click on users, click it. It's going to take me to a web browser. Now in our web browser is where I can add different users to it. I can upload them from Active Directory Sync, or I can upload a CSV file, or I can go and manually add users. And then in there I can manually assign roles. You can see here we have a standard user, we have a company admin. The difference between an admin, a contributor, and a consumer is the consumer allows the user to find, download, and use content in our libraries. That's all they can do. The contributor can find, download, use, comment, rate different pieces of content in there. And the admin has admin rights across the board. You'll notice that when we're in HIVE, mine will look a little bit different. That's just because I'm an admin, so I have access to everything in there. So once we get our accounts, or once we get our user added in, see, I can go in here. So if you got a new employee starting, here's where you can go and add them in. You can assign a role to them. You can add time zones and whatnot. You can even auto-generate a password. And we can also set up different user groups that they are assigned to. So all of our user groups, see, here's one for Viz. So I created a visualization user group that has right now currently 4 people in there, including myself. And I can edit that at any time. Later again, I'll show you how we can add those, how we can add these into the libraries. So once we got all that set up, I'll launch the desktop version of HIVE. So now I want to make a new library. So under the Libraries tab, I can go and I can hit Add New Library. So I can go in here, I can say, I want to add a reference photo library. For when I'm doing visualization, I want to see what it actually looks like in real life. So I'll actually model off the reference photos. So I can hit Ref Photos, my users. I can add in all the different users I want that are going to be associated with my library. So we'll say Brianna, we'll say Elin, and then me. So it's selected. Again, since I created a Viz users group, I can add in that user group in here. I can even add in, we'll say, a couple of the ATG South text, West text, or for everyone. Depends on what I want. So, photos to be used to model visualization model from. So then I can hit create. So now I created that library. So now what if I want to add content to that library? Now I would start populating it. I would hit the add content feature down here. And under the libraries, so I select which library I want it to go. So in this case, I only want it to go to the reference photos. So now for tags, what we can do, we can search by different, we can find our content by searching for tags or for libraries. You can create different tags under the tags feature here, so I can add a new tag if I want, or I can do that in the add content. So under the, and I got an email notification stating, hey, I got invited to join this new library that was just created by myself. All your users will get that same email once you add them to a new folder. So I want to assign a tag, we'll say, so in this case I don't see one that I want, yeah, we'll keep viz in there, or I'll create reference photos. I can call it whatever I want to. In this case, for demonstration purposes, we'll just do reference photos. So I can hit OK. So now, what I would do, I would go find the reference photos that I'm going to use. We'll take all these here. In this case, if I was trying to model a cabin, I found some really cool images that I like to help me get inspired. So I'll click and drag and drop those into Hive. Hive is very quick at uploading content. I just uploaded the whole V-Ray for Revit content library. There's 1,053 items. It took about 5 minutes to upload. So again, you just pick what you want, throw it in there. Now I can select all the ones that I want, and I can hit, remove a couple ones if I want. But if I like what I have right there, I can hit process down here on the bottom, and that's going to add all those, all that content to this exact library with this exact tag. In this case, I forgot to add in the reference photos tag. No worries, I can go add that in later. So it's processing right now. Of course, it knows I'm doing a presentation, so it's going to run a little bit slow. So now that we're letting that process here real quick, there's another way we can launch Hive too. Processing files. So we can launch Hive from the desktop too, if we want. The difference being, it will show me, once I get to libraries, once I get to content, so I can clear all that. So if I launch Hive from Revit, I can get this active project. So that'll pull all the Revit files, or Revit family, or all the content that's from Revit. Again, I can drag and drop this straight into Revit if I want. Or what I can do, since I'm working with textures, I can go and so I have two different ways to search for textures. Search is basically a global search. Think of it like Google. If I search a keyword, see in this case I searched metal. So here I'll search metal. Hit search. Now it's going to search everything, every library that we have in here. But now I can tailor that even more. So now I can search specifically just for viz textures. So now I search keyword metal throughout just my viz textures. Again, if I would have done a global search for the whole Hive directory, it would have pulled everything with the keyword metal in it. But since I knew I just wanted viz textures, I can go and find everything that has the word metal associated to it. See, we have some V-Ray materials. We have a substance material in here. Again, notice over here, Revit categories and Revit versions. This is there since I launched it straight from Revit. So I wouldn't get that if I had just a desktop version. See, and my models are done. Or my photos are done uploading. So now what can I do with this? Well, now I can take these and we'll say, so now I can go over to Revit, I can change, this is the big part that I like about it, how I can drag and drop straight into Revit Material Editor. Using the new 2019 materials, I can use all my different materials that I have right here. So I'm going to create a new material. Say roofing. Roofing here. Now let's define one of these. Roofing. So I'll use that as a template. So now what I can do, I can take my corrugated metal base color here, and I can drag and drop that straight into Revit. Now I can take my roughness, drag and drop in. I can take my normal map, drag and drop that in. For my advanced highlights, I can use my occlusion map. Simple as that. Now minimize this for concept. So I have this open in Enscape. for visualization, so we can do side by side. So again, I can minimize this. I can have Revit open. I can hit apply. Automatically changes in Enscape for us. I can just keep going. I can go rotate that in to 90 degrees if I want. So and I can just keep working. And my changes are made. Awesome. So I can minimize that. I'm done with that. Now back to Hive. Another really big part of what I like here is the fact that under the Discover tab, so think of this as more of a refined search. If I know that I want only substance materials, because if I'm looking for more higher quality textures, I'm going to use substance materials. So under the Discover tab over here, we have a couple different options to search for them. So we can filter by tag, because we already set up a tag, different folder names. But in this case, I'm looking for the exact file or the exact program that it was created in. So under the application, I have Substance Designer. So now that I'll search my whole my Viz Textures library and show me every material that was created in Substance. I can see who created it to, who the owner is, date modified, different file extensions, file creation date. And I can even boil it down to what computer was created. Since this was created, these were all created by me, it's only showing my computer name, but if I had different users, it would show those different computer names. So this is a very powerful feature here too. Again, if all I know I wanted, so now I can clear that, or I can remove filter right there. I can see back to the applications. I know if I want ones created in Photoshop. Again, it can take any different file format, and it works exactly like Windows File Explorer too. So any program that supports the drag and drop feature into it will respect that. So now what I can do, I can clear this real quick. I can go over to libraries, I can go to content. Now what if I want to search for, here I'll use the desktop one for this one. So under search, I'll go 3D model. So I'm just going to do a mass search for 3D model. So now this will pull RFAs, RBTs, V-Ray materials. So if I'm going to be doing a 3D model in, say, Maya or 3ds Max or something, I can model something in those desired programs, and I can have my content library all on Hive. So in my 3D model folder, I have a couch that I created. I have a 3D scan of myself. And we can either replace the icon file or the display preview with the desired image that we look. So now I can see exactly what it's going to look like. This is something File Explorer won't do. It'll just display as a .obj or a .fbx file. So now I can actually get a preview of what my 3D model is going to look like. So now Maya open. And what's really great is it fully supports FBX files. So now what I can do, I can go back to Hive. So I can click, and I can drag and drop that in. Let it load up real quick. Boom, that's 6. There's my FBX file that is living on my server right now. So now I have it on my machine. And again, I can be at my house because I told Hive to cache all the content. So now I can pull this from my house, so I don't have to be tied to my network at all. Again, now I can take my OBJ file, drag and drop in, let that sit for a sec. Again, now I can keep working. In this case, I didn't have a texture assigned to it because I didn't associate one with that model. So this is some of the powerful features how Hive can help in visualization across the whole company. So we can upload our whole texture library. We can assign ratings to all these. So since I'm in the search tab, I can right click and I can give this a rating. So say this is a really good model, I can give it a 5-star rating if I want. We have different options to search for our content. So we have sort by relevance, we have sort by rating. So if I'm looking for a really good piece of furniture, I can sort by rating, hit apply. Now since I have these two as a 5-star rating, these are going to show at the top of my list. Again, if I knew I had a date that was modified in, I can even search for those two down here. I knew it was, added in between these two dates, we can add those in there as well. I can go edit this, and I can go, again, since I'm an admin, I'm going to have all these different tabs over here. Whereas a consumer, they're only going to be able to download and find content. You're not going to be able to add ratings or anything. That's what a contributor and an admin can do. Again, since I'm an admin, I can go and I can delete this. I can go edit this. I can edit some of the links in here, so I can put this furniture is for this desired from this manufacturer. We can have different comments. We can even adjust the ratings all inside here. We have different attachments as well. So, again, basically think of any drag and drop program out there. Hive can do it because it's mimicking what Windows Fire Explorer is doing. So I can even do this for V-Ray. So in V-Ray, if I'm going to replace, we'll say some proxy object, I can have all my V-Ray materials housed in Hive as well. So if I knew I wanted a V-Ray material, VRMat, I can search .vrmat. So now I have all my V-Ray materials. And I can say I want everything to, now I can just drag and drop straight into V-Ray as well. Click it. There we go. Again, off I'm going. So now what I can do, since I just uploaded these, I'm going to go back and take a screenshot of what that V-Ray material looks like. And I can go edit this. So now by clicking this button, or by clicking the pencil up here, I can change what that preview image is going to look like. So then I'll be able to see exactly what that material is looking like before I even drag and drop it in to Revit. And if I knew I'm searching for a certain piece of content a lot, I can save my searches. I can save my search settings in here. I have different, under my name, I have different settings just for how I want Hive to function. We can have different preview image size, or when I hover over it, how big that preview image is going to look. Like that, I can make that bigger if I'd like, or make it smaller if I'd like. Again, I can hit Shift, and I can add multiple tags to certain objects. This is great for uploading a mass amount of your content library at once, and then I can go in there. If I knew all these are going to be a certain tag, I can go add different tags to all of those at one time. Again, I can call that what I want. So we can say we already have V-Ray materials on it, so I'm going to put it under Biz. Now I'm assigning those tags to all of those different materials at once. All right. Does anybody got any questions? I'll leave it open for a couple minutes for questions. Definitely feel free to reach out if you guys got any questions after the webinar, if you guys want to see how it functions with Revit a lot more, how to specifically make it work for different features in Revit as well. Definitely reach out if you guys got questions. All right, well, if there's no more questions, thanks everybody for taking time out of your day to watch our presentation on CTC Software Hive today. Definitely feel free to reach out with any questions you guys may have. Thanks again, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.